The secret of the birth of a planet that human beings do not know. Planets or planetoids are born in Temi 1, the universe of the 17th dimension. Stars or asteroids are also born in the 17th dimensional Temi 1. Planets or suns are created in intangible forms in the special area of the 17th dimension and delivered by spaceships to be placed in their destination star system of the designated galaxy. Once an intangible planet is delivered to each future location of the universe by spaceships, the birth of the planet is initiated. A planet is born through three large energy fields. The first energy membrane is created on the outermost area around an intangible planet, which is called the energy membrane for the birth of planetary space. The second energy membrane is involved in generating the time of a planet, which is called the energy membrane for the birth of planetary time. The third energy membrane is installed in the innermost area surrounding the planet to be born, which is called the energy membrane for the planetary birth. Once the energy membrane for the birth of planetary space is installed around an intangible planet, the space of the planet is determined and secured. The space between the energy membrane for the birth of a planetary space and the energy membrane for the birth of a planetary time is the pure intangible deep layer of a planet. The intangible deep layer of a planet is the world that has no flow of time. The intangible deep layer serves as the invisible yard of a planet, and this vacant space can be compared to a clean room. This intangible deep layer of a planet is where the planet's stargates are installed and determines the dimension of the planet. In each of the interdimensional spaces of this layer, invisible systems are installed for maintaining and operating the planets as a living creature. In this intangible deep layer, various smaller spaces coexist in the same dimension, but these spaces are slightly different in the spatial density and characteristics from each other. These spaces are called interdimensional spaces in cosmic terms. The space between the energy membrane for the birth of a planetary time and the energy membrane for the planetary birth is called the intangible middle layer of a planet, and this layer is the space where time flows and changes take place. In this intangible middle layer of a planet, there is a gigantic system generating time particles to supply them to the planets, and with the operation of this system, time begins to flow on the planets. Depending on the characteristics of the energy membrane for the birth of a planetary time installed in the intangible middle layer, planetary time is unique to each planet and thus different for each planet. This is why planets have different planetary times from each other. The intangible middle layer of a planet is the space where only the planetary time unique to the planet exists. This layer is where planetary time is born and flows, and is where the 0 point of planetary time is adjusted. In addition, the life support system of a planet exists in the intangible middle layer of the planet. The system of the tree of life in the light of the planet also exists in this layer. For example, the planet Earth, where our human beings are living, is made up of a total of 226 interdimensional spaces. On the Earth, the interdimensional space of the intangible deep layer is composed of 101 strata, and that of the intangible middle layer is made up of 89 strata. Finally, the interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer consists of 36 strata, which belong to the invisible world of this layer. The flow of time enables the birth of life. The fact that time is flowing means that the birth of life is beginning. The fact that time is flowing on a planet implies that the system of the tree of life in the light of the planet is prepared to be operated, and that the breath of the planet is about to be born. The space below the energy membrane for the birth of a planetary time is where spaceships are hovering for their missions, and dimension managing administrators of the universe are dwelling. In the interdimensional space of the intangible middle layer of Earth, the ice membrane over the sky will be installed after the completion of the Earth dimensional ascension. Also, the spiritual hierarchy of Earth is installed in this interdimensional space. The space below the energy membrane for the planetary birth is called the tangible superficial layer of a planet, and is the space where changes occur diversely and dynamically. This tangible superficial layer is where life forms are living. The interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer of Earth is an invisible world made up of 36 strata. In the interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer, huge intangible machinery is installed that transforms the things belonging to the intangible middle layer into those belonging to the tangible superficial layer. In the interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer of the planet Earth, there is an energy membrane that determines the natural environment of Earth. The interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer is the space that the planet's magnetic field and gravity reach, and is important for the protection of the living creatures of the planets. Also, the energy membranes that form various layers of the planet's atmosphere are installed in the interdimensional space of the tangible superficial layer of the planet. The energy membrane for the planetary birth is also called the energy membrane for the birth of life. Once this energy membrane is born around a planet, the planet's life support system is installed that will supply energy to the life forms of the planets. After the energy membrane for the planetary birth is installed around a planet, the planet's Gaia consciousness existing in the interdimensional space of the inner core of the planets begins to be connected with the planet's life support systems installed in the interdimensional spaces of the intangible deep layer, the intangible middle layer, and the tangible superficial layer of the planets. Every planet in the universe has its own uniqueness and its own Gaia consciousness. The natural environments of planets in the universe are all different from each other. The natural environment of every planet in the universe is determined by the characteristics of the intangible systems installed in the interdimensional spaces of the intangible deep layer, the intangible middle layer, and the tangible superficial layer of the planets. The natural environment that every planet uniquely has is set up based on the contents of the programs that are operated in the intangible systems installed in the interdimensional spaces of these three layers of the planets. Once all of the above-mentioned processes are completed, the basic planetary systems required for the operation of a planet are established. At the present level of human consciousness, the information about the interdimensional space of a planet may be hard to understand. However, as the level of human consciousness increases and the science and technology of the planet Earth also advances, the real entities of these interdimensional spaces will be revealed to humanity in detail. Now that the time has come, I, Captain Udeka, reveal the secret of the grand universe about the creation and birth of our planets, considering the level of current human consciousness, and leave this article as a record. March 22nd in 2021, Udeka wrote.